I'm Chris.
And I'm Ash.
And together we are Chrash Productions.
Yep.
Question 1 is, what challenged the conventions of a classic short film? Ash?
We challenged conventions of normal short films with our use of credits. We started with Chrash Productions presents Stephen Carnegie in, and then we left the title reveal into the very last shot. Conventionally, a short film would either have all of the credits at the start or at the end.
Or a title at the start to tell the audience what they're going to watch, and then the rest to the end.
Yeah, so we left our title reveal till the very last shot, and we had all the other credits beforehand, but we had our crew credits at the very end in a credit roll.
Yeah, we had some very good feedback when we asked the audience after our screening what they thought of us challenging the conventions in this way.
How did you use media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stage? When we made our posters, we looked at conventional short film posters and feature film posters, and we used all the conventions in these in our posters themselves, such as titles, positioning, images, texts, and such on. For my poster, I chose to frame the main character in the centre of the poster, and I credited him above, just above the title, and I used cast and crew credits again below in smaller, less readable text. And this I felt was a very conventional poster, and I feel it sells the product very well. And I think overall it suits the tone of our short film.
The poster to me was crucial to have a standout image, an image that will remain in your head. Our production required us to take some photographic stills of our actor in preparation for these posters, so that the image stood out in the viewer's head as something they'd want to watch and something they could relate to. It had to portray our actor as a funny man, and hopefully both our posters have done that. Something to do with something. Oh yeah. My magazine review, which hopefully can be edited. The magazine review, I chose to do that same heavy picture attitude to work, as well as contrasting text. The review itself is, in my opinion, quite critical. I'm very critical of my own work, therefore it is quite harsh. But it does have an overbearing theme of a happy and comedic tone, which I believe the harshest of critics will see in our short film. Ash?
For my review, I based my review on Empire magazine, and I used a similar layout to them with a main focus on images and visual style. I've tried to replicate that with how it's laid out and the text, and I feel I've done that quite successfully. I do feel that the media technology we used, which was InDesign, worked really well, and it allowed us to get an advantage which with another technology we might not have had. It was very easy to edit the poster together, and it was a very good process which we used.
Can I just say as well, I also used InDesign. I found it a very effective tool to create a professional looking magazine review. Alright, I'm Chris.
And I'm Ash.
And together we are
Chrash Productions.
Happy viewing. Do you think the soundtrack fittingly accompanied that piece?
Yes.
That's alright.
A resounding yes.
Was the editing smooth and easy to watch?
Well, this isn't really editing, more the shot, but where he takes the toast out the toaster and then you've got the window behind, it makes him into a shadow, so you can't really see what's he doing with his hand.
I think you could have added more like extra sound effects in, so like when he hits the like alarm in the morning.
And I think adding more sound effects and more ambient sounds would add to that as well.
Yeah, like with the sound levels, I think you need to deal with that. But also like there's a complete bit where he walks across the carpet, but it's completely silent, so it sounds a bit sort of strange.
Who, if anyone, got annoyed at the alarm at the beginning?
I don't think you should edit it out. I think maybe you should tone it down maybe a little bit. But obviously,
The fact that the credits were actually over the pictures as well, that made it look quite professional. Yeah.
it really did. Yes, thank you.
It was a radio alarm clock, I gather, so you could possibly use the radio, have some music instead of an alarm, maybe.
Okay.
Did the title reveal at the end, was it too late? So one of those days, did it pop up too late?
I thought it was good because then you'd seen the whole day and then it like kind of explains it. So if you had it at the beginning, it would set you up, but it's better that it was at the end. Type.
Firstly, did you know the bloke? Or was he an
No,
actor?
he's just a scary man we hired.
Well, he was insanely good, man. And like it's like a massive credit to your piece because your script was insane, your actor was insane. I wanted to watch more, and it's one of the few. No offense. That I genuinely just wanted to see a continuation of. Sorry if I offended anybody. You're all great.
I think your actor did a really good job, really, really good job there. Interpreting what you wanted him to show.
The audience feedback for both me and Ashley was very helpful.
Because we sometimes lacked consistent music, ambient sound. So there are scenes where Stephen is walking through the hall and his footsteps cannot be heard. We need to be a bit more consistent with this, and so we'll edit this later.
Because we did get some good positive feedback. Most notably for us was how Stephen Carnegie really lifted the piece. His natural comedic talent did shine through. His facial expressions, especially when he's eating the bread.
Audiences were quite effusive with their praise for Stephen, and I think fairly so. He really did lift a piece and gave us that extra advantage that had we not got a greater actor, we may have struggled.
Another correction we need to make when we get to the editing suite is the scene in the kitchen with the toast is quite dark. So we're going to colour correct that, emphasise the colour more so that you can see the scene with the burnt toast, because we feel that's something that really does need to be seen by the audience and it's missing out there.
That was all round the harshest criticism of our shots. And fairly so. The shot is very dark, and we'll look to colour correct that later.
All in all, we're very happy to have had this screening, and it makes a very notable difference to have some fresh eyes on the piece.
Yeah, even on some aspects that we were a bit unsure of, like when we used our alarm sound effect, we didn't know whether it would be too much or for the audience or too loud. But in fact, although there was a partly mixed reception, the majority were definitely for keeping it as it was. Yes, so we were very pleased with that response.
So now we go to sort out the scenes that are wrong. Cheers. How effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary texts? Here we have the main product, and here are our ancillary texts. Ancillary text is a good script, the foundation of a great main product. Combine this with a good actor, and sprinkle in a little bit of shot planning, and voila, you have a fantastic main product. But wait, there's no milk. That can be added by editing. That'll do.